Thank you for joining us. I'm your host, Paige Ryans, and today we are talking about the 24th annual Garden State Film Festival, truly one of my favorite events of the year. Garden State Film Festival returns from March 26th through March 29th with over 200 films from various countries, screening at 9 different venues throughout Asbury Park and Cranford, New Jersey. Tickets are available right now at gsff.org/tickets, and there will also be tickets available at the door. And now let's dive in and meet today's filmmakers. I'm very excited. I am here with Wendy Littner and Lauren Korber, I'm sorry, here to talk about. I was in my head saying don't, and then I just messed it up. Lauren Korber, that are here to talk, both here to talk about their series. Welcome, ladies. How are you doing today?
Good, thanks. Thank you so much for having us. So excited to be here.
So
Yes,
excited.
thank you so much.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for joining us. We're very excited to have you here as well, and excited to talk about your series. So why don't we just kind of start with introductions? If you wanted to just introduce your role with the series, and then we'll dive in and talk about it.
Sure. Do you want to go ahead, Lauren? Or
Go ahead, Wendy.
I'm Wendy. I'm the creator of the series, and also one of the executive producers. And I was lucky enough to get to direct one of the episodes, which was my first time directing. So that was really exciting.
Nice.
Series.
Awesome.
So, and I'm the executive producer and producer of the series.
Very awesome. Very awesome. Well, again, thank you for being here. We're very excited to chat about it. So Wendy, can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah. So My Dead Mom is about a woman whose mom is dead and she still just won't stop talking. I like to say that her, Emmy's mother's dead, but she still hates what she's wearing. And it feels like it's sort of inspired by my own mother. My mother died when I was 23, but I felt like I could still hear her trolling me, and I could still hear all the criticism and all the judgment that she would still have about all my choices, including what lipstick I'm wearing, and from things that small to like my bigger life choices. And I just love the idea that you can still be having a conversation with somebody who's gone, and still be able to hear them so clearly. And I also find there's this tendency when people pass away, there's sort of this tendency to like lionize them and remember all the good parts. And I love this idea of being able to showcase that somebody can be so deeply human and so messy and so chaotic, and we still miss them so terribly and so deeply.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I know you kind of talked a little bit about like the inspiration for writing, but what would you say that what was that writing process like? Or what was that process like for you? Just kind of like you're creating
Writing was like, it was sort of like bringing my mom back to life. It was such a meaningful experience to be able to write it and to be able to sort of like write her jokes again, and to be able to hear her. So a lot of the scenes are like Emmy, the daughter, and her mother Fern, played by the incredible Lauren Collins and Megan Follows. And so much of it is sort of like Emmy trying to live her life, trying to move on, trying to have some sort of closure with her mother dying, and her mom sort of like being there, peppering in nonstop, commenting on. It's almost like the Muppet. I just watched the new Muppet Show, and I was like, it's like the what are their names that are always like that are commenting on it. And I feel like it's living with that constant judgment and commentary, that's there, and being able to hear them. So the writing process was really, it was so cathartic, and it felt like just being with my mom again and having her in the room again, felt so meaningful and so exciting. And to have people laugh at her jokes and connect with the character, just felt so exciting.
Yeah. And I think that's I really enjoyed kind of watching. I enjoyed the writing with it because I feel like it mixed that like dark wit with the honesty to it, and I feel like it's a good balance. It's a needed balance, I like to say, because it's just there are highs and lows. There's really no one way to really feel, and I feel like it just kind of encapsulates the varieties of it.
I love that. I love that. And I so appreciate that because I feel like it's easy to cry at sad things, but it's hard to laugh at them. And I feel like that was the way my family always coped with hardship growing up was we always found the funny. And even when my mom was dying, she was like, even cancer didn't take her sense of humor. It made her, she was so funny, like till her last breath. And I want to show that that's a normal and valuable way to grieve as well, is to be able to laugh.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It really is okay to laugh, because I think just finding that joy through sadness is just a way that just kind of like gets you through, So I really appreciated seeing that. And Lauren, what was your process of kind of getting connected with the film? Like, how did with the series? What did that process look like for you?
Well, so this is the second series that Wendy and I have had the pleasure of working on together. Wendy and I actually met in law school, go figure, and now we've made 2 international Emmy-nominated series together. So that's been pretty cool. So the first series that we made together was a comedy about infertility called How to Buy a Baby. And, Wendy and I have been talking about this series pretty much since then. So, once we wrapped up with the first series, we were able to move on to this one. And yeah, I mean, ever since Wendy pitched me the idea, I thought it was fantastic. And Wendy's writing is just incredible. So I was really excited to work with her again.
For sure. For sure. Well, also, that's really cool that you started in law school and then to filmmaking, winning 2 international. That's really incredible. So congratulations on both accomplishments to that. And so what was the process, kind of like, what was that filming process like for you? How did you find your cast and crew? I feel like you found a very solid cast. What was that like of just scouting them? And, I'll start with one question. I want to.
We worked with these amazing casting directors that we've been able to work with before, from Lewis Kay. So we worked with Jenny Lewis and Sarah Kay, and they helped us find our amazing cast. Megan Follows she was the original Anne of Green Gables, which maybe is just a very Canadian reference. But she played the mom, and the daughter was played by Lauren Collins, who's just an iconic Canadian actor. She was in Degrassi, and she's been in lots of other things. And, just what they brought to these roles really elevated it. And then the rest of our cast that filled it out, Rainbow Sun Franks, Daniel Cash, Jenny Raven. I mean, there's just Daniel Maslany, David Real. There's so many, like, I'm gonna miss people, so I better stop there. But yeah, they were all amazing. So, we did a typical audition process. And we were lucky enough to get this incredible cast.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes, you did.
Go ahead.
Oh, no, please, no. I was going to say, we love making female-centric stories, so it's always so exciting to find leads and find other women. We always try and work with a female director and a female DP, and it's just so exciting to bring in those voices as well, and to be able to celebrate women.
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. Celebrate. I like that. Celebrating the crowd, because it really is a celebration. And I feel like you both did just that with the film. I feel like, it's just, again, it's just a great, audiences will get to see it. So I just want to save that first moment of seeing that for them. But I really do think that it's just a really great introduction, and it really reels people in for just a great story. What would you say was your favorite process? This is a question for both of you, but I'll throw it to you first, Wendy. What would you say was your favorite part of the process, whether that was the writing, whether it was just kind of seeing it all on screen, kind of anything in that realm that really stood out to you? What was your favorite part?
There's a scene where Emmy, the lead, is dancing with her mom. And then you sort of reveal that her mom isn't there. And that moment for me it just encapsulated so much of my own grief for me and what that feels like for somebody to feel so present, and realize that they're not. I really love that moment. But I think like whenever we film, like the very first frame, I always like, I can't believe it. It feels like a miracle to make something.
Yeah.
So like the first time you hear like it on its feet, and you like, and people are filming and all these people are there on set, and it looks just the way you pictured in your mind. I feel like it's the closest I get to, I think, a religious experience for me. It feels so profound.
Absolutely. That's amazing. Thank you for sharing that. Truly.
Ooh, yeah, it's so tough to like nail down just one. But, I don't know if it's the first day of filming or the last day of filming for me, but once you spend so much time in prep and raising the financing and everything and getting to that day where you get to shoot. So, just being on set and seeing it all come together is so amazing. And also like at the end, like once it's done, like I can never believe it, like it's done, it's already done. But those were amazing. And also we got to hold a screening in our hometown of Toronto, and we had a pretty full audience, and just seeing their reactions to the series, that part was very special to me. Like seeing where people laugh and having people enjoy it together and share those laughs. That is my favorite part.
Yes.
Seeing my dad's reaction a little more awkward, but
I was all a part of that memorable experience of of screening for the first time. And what would you say is, sorry, I had a question and then I lost it. What are you hoping audiences, and we kind of talked about this throughout, but like if there was there are many lessons and many themes and many kind of questions that we see throughout the series, but if there was one thing that you could think of that audiences, sticks with the audiences after they leave the theater, after they leave the room, what would that be?
I think that grief is not tidy. I think like very purposefully set it where it's like 3 years after her mom died, because I think people give you sort of a lot of leeway the first year, after somebody passes away, and then there's sort of this feeling of like, aren't you over it yet? Like, are they, like, even if it's not explicitly said, you have this feeling of like, maybe I should be over it yet. Maybe I should be through all the steps already. I should be over that grief. And I think it's the idea that like you're never over it. I don't know that you ever get over losing your mom, and that's okay, and you find a way to live through that. But I think for me, that's one of the biggest takeaways. I don't know if it's different for you, Lauren.
No, I definitely agree. Yeah. And I think also, as you've said before, like you were saying about how the relationship changes.
Yeah. The relationship, I had a doctor say to me, like, the relationship with your mom doesn't end, it just changes. And at the time I was like, well, she's dead, so it feels pretty over. But then I sort of found like he's right. Like I still hear her all the time. I still hear like everything she has to say to me. So being able to show that feels.
That part really stuck with me, when you were talking about it, and I always think back to that. So
yeah, absolutely. And I think, it's like the saying goes, grief is love everlasting. And as you were speaking to, just like, she's always there. It shows up like in a perfume scent, or like a food, or an aroma or something like that. So it's definitely that, always with you. But that's a really insightful about just kind of like how it just changes, it never leaves, it just changes. So that's very, very interesting. Well, thank you for sharing that. And I guess my last question for you both will you both be joining us at the festival in person this year?
We hope so. We're going to try to make it happen. So we both actually had prior commitments that maybe have opened up, so we're going to see if we can make it work. but we would love to be
Nothing
there.
we love more than to be there with everyone.
Absolutely.
It's one festival that I really would love to get to. So,
well, yes.
yeah.
Well, hoping that, the stars align and that, everything works out, because we would love to see you in person. But either way, we're very happy to support the series, very looking forward to it. And you can check it out on Sunday, March 29th, at the Berkeley Continental, Block BC 31, between 2:40 p.m. and 5 p.m. And again, Garden State Film Festival, 24th annual, will run from March 26th through March 29th. You can get your tickets at gsff.org/tickets. And once again, Wendy and Lauren, thank you both so much for being here and for joining us. And we'll see you at the festival.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having us.
Yes. Take care. All right.
Here. Bye.
Bye.